Hi, my name is Shivam, and in this video we are going to learn how to set up a Flutter desktop application. We will learn how to set up a Flutter desktop environment on our system and also make an application, QR code generator, that will convert any text into a QR code image. And finally, we will make an installable exe file so you can share the software with the others. Some fixes and issues are mentioned in this video, so watch till the end. In Flutter Desktop, we use Flutter Framework. Through that, you can make applications for Windows OS, Linux, and Mac system. But most native features are not available yet because Flutter Desktop is in technical preview version. So you might face some issues during the development and production version of Flutter Desktop application. That's why it's suggested do not work on the production level of the application. For now, you can work on the Flutter Desktop application as a learning purpose. To make a Flutter Desktop application in the production level, this feature is available in the Mac only. So for the Windows, we are going to use an alternate method. For making a Flutter Desktop application for a Windows environment, we will need IntelliJ IDEA, Visual Studio 2019 and Flutter Framework. For making a production level installable exe file of the application, I am using an unofficial way alternate method. I will be using Eno Setup software. First, we have to make the Flutter Framework environment for the mobile development. How to do that? Link is given in the description below. After installation of Flutter Framework for mobile development, then we will proceed to the Flutter Desktop setup. Desktop support is available in the master channel of the Flutter SDK. So type in the command flutter channel master. To enable the Flutter Desktop on the Flutter Framework, type flutter config enable Windows Desktop. Then type flutter upgrade to update the Flutter SDK. Then type flutter doctor-v. You will see the list of all requirements needed in the Flutter Framework. You can see in the list for the Flutter Desktop, we will need a Visual Studio 2019 installation also. Make sure while installing Visual Studio 2019, do install the same version which is shown in the list. Otherwise, Flutter SDK will not able to detect the Windows SDK. Go to official site of Visual Studio 2019 and download the latest version. During the installation of Visual Studio, make sure component installed have the same version as shown in the Flutter SDK. After the installation, restart your system and type flutter doctor-v. If the requirement here shows complete for the Visual Studio, then we are ready to work on the Flutter Desktop. If you face any error, watch the video again and follow the steps. Then type Flutter devices. Here you will see the Windows as an output device for the application. Now we are ready to make a Flutter Desktop application. Now we will make a new Flutter project. Select Flutter, type project name. Now our first Flutter Framework project is ready. Project structure is same as compared to Flutter project of mobile development. Now this project is not ready for the Flutter Desktop application. Here we are going to use some alternate method due to some issues in the Flutter SDK regarding Windows Desktop. Visit this GitHub page and download the repo. After extracting the content, copy the Windows folder and paste it in our project. Now you have to go to the main.file. In the main function, you have to write target platform as Fuchsia. Now our first basic Flutter Desktop application is ready. Now we will run this project. To run the project, type in terminal flutter run -d Windows. If you face some error while running the application, type flutter run -d Windows -v. Then the error will be shown in the details. Now our first desktop application is launched. Now we will do some modification within the app and make a QR code generator app where you can make a QR image from a text and save it on local drive. Here I have changed the title of the app QR code generator. If the changes are not reflected by the hot restart, then you have to restart the application. Now I will remove the unused existing code. First add a row widget and add two cards as shown in the application UI. Cards are not showing in the UI due to some dimensions error. Now in the first card we have added a column. In this column we have three widgets, a drop down, a text field and a button. So whatever the user type in the input field, we will get that through text editing controller. The errors shown here are due to dimension of the text field. I have set the height of the text field as 150. Now we will wrap both the cards in the expand widget. This will divide the cards in the equal ratio. Here we will add drop down widgets. There will be two options, text and phone. So I will put these two options in a list in a app constant dart file. You can add multiple options here and that will be reflected in the dropdown. These texts are used to mention the type of the QR code we want to generate. So here if user select a text option, the text is converted into QR image, and if user select as a phone number, the text will be formatted in a type in QR image such that the QR application that you use for the scanning will read the QR image as a phone number. You can add such type of multiple QR format. The more details are given in the description. So whenever user select an option in the dropdown, that item is returned in the onChange function. We will do some formatting in the dropdown. Now we will add a raise button here, which on click will change the text to QR image. To generate the QR image in the application, we are using a Flutter package, QR Flutter. So this package converts a text into a QR image and shows that image format in the QR image widget. Include the latest version of this package in your project. In this parameter, we will pass that text that we want to change into QR code. So by default, I have mentioned a text and the QR code is generated for that. Afterwards, we can directly pass the text from the input field. So in this text field, we will mention the output folder. That is, whatever the QR code image is generated, we can save in the local drive and will be available on that path. So here I will add the output folder and the path where all the images will be saved. So if you have mentioned the C drive, that is the primary drive of the Windows OS, you need run as administrator permission. If you have mentioned a C drive path, that is the primary path in the Windows system, you need to run the application as run as admin, because then Flutter application need to have a read-write permission in the C drive. If you have logical drive, then you do not need this permission. After this, we will make a installer application for this application that will be installed in the C drive. So to run the application properly, you need a run as admin permission, or you can install the application in any logical drive. So here we are adding a save button. On click, we will save that QR image as a PNG file in that particular path folder that we have mentioned. Now we are connecting the drop down to the QR code. That is the format of the QR image. So if user select phone as an option in the drop down menu and enters a phone number in the input field, then this format will be used to create a QR image. Else the original text will be passed to create a QR image. So whatever the format we are using, this is to tell the application that is used to scan the QR code that whether it's a text, a website, a phone number, or email link, etc. Now our next step is to save the QR image in that particular folder. नेक्स्ट टास्क है सेव बटन की क्लिक पे इस QR कोड का एक इमेज फाइल हमें सेव करना है लोकल फोल्डर में। तो यहाँ पे हम repaint boundary widget यूज करेंगे जो अपने child widget। Here we are using a repaint boundary widget that will create an image of its child widget. To make the file name unique, I am mentioning date time as a millisecond and the extension will be PNG format. So the full path will be app directory plus output folder. All the images will be saved here. By mentioning true in the file.recursive, all the directories in that path will be created if not available. So I have mentioned the path of the C drive. The directory is not created in the C drive. So due to write permission error, I am mentioning the logical drive path. Now here a QR image has generated. By default the image background is transparent, so I will put a white background. Now our Flutter desktop application is ready. Now to replace the default icon of the application, replace app icon at this path. This image should have icon extension. Restart your app. To make a installable exe file for a Flutter desktop application, I am using a Eno setup software. You can install the software link given in the description. Create new script. Application name QR code generator. Application version. Your publisher name, website name. Program files folder. Don't change this option. Our application will be installed in this location. Now select the main executable file, that is flutterdesktop.exe. Now also include all the files and directories that are mentioned in the build folder with the Flutter Desktop exe file. These files are necessary to run the Flutter Desktop application. Select Administrative Install Mode if you are mentioning your application path in a C drive. If your application does not require write permission, then you are not required the admin option. Choose the output directory where our installable exe will be created. You can also select the icon for your installer file. I have used the same icon that I have used within the project. Now the installer exe file has been generated. Now we will install the application on our system. Follow the normal process of the software setup. And the application is installed. And the output folder is on this path. And all images will be saved in the output folder here. Now you can modify the project and add new format of the QR code. In the description, I have mentioned the link for the working executable file and the project link. So please comment if you want more videos regarding Flutter Desktop, Mobile or Flutter Web.